Hello students, in the previous lecture we have studied about the wiring schematics. Now let's move on to the further concepts regarding this wiring schematics. Now in the wiring diagrams, certain symbols are used to represent the different components of the systems. Now the important components such as battery, here we can see the symbol of a battery. There are the two terminals of the battery, the positive terminal and the negative terminal. Now here the positive terminal is showcased by this long vertical line and negative terminal by a small vertical line and a suitable space in between these two lines. Now here this pair of one long vertical line and one small vertical line represents a cell of a particular battery. We know the voltage across each cell of a battery is around 2.1 volts. Therefore, a pair of 6 cells here can represent up to 12.6 volt battery, which is used by a typical automobile car. Now here the ground, here we can see the symbol of a ground. Now the ground on the left represents the earth ground, while this ground on the right here, okay, it represents a chassis ground. Here this represents a chassis ground, where this represents a earth ground. These are used in our household wirings, where this symbols is popular in our automobile electrical wiring schematics. Now, as we have seen earlier, the wiring schematics is composed of the lines which are connected with the different symbols. And here, while mentioning the type of the wire, the first important thing that we represent is the wire size. So whenever we are working on a particular electrical system of automobile, if in case we want to replace a particular wire by any other wire, these wires must be replaced by a similar wire with a similar diameter or similar gauge. That is very much important. Therefore, this wiring schematics tells us the size of the wires that which we need to replace while doing any maintenance or the repair work. Okay. Now the circuit number, here also each wire in part of a circuit is labeled with a circuit number to help the technician to trace the wiring and allow for an explanation how the circuit is supposed to work. Okay. Now wire color is also very much important. Most schematics also indicate an abbreviation for the color of the wire and place it next to the wire. Many wires have two colors, a solid color and a strip color. In this case, the solid color is listed and then a dark slash and the color of the strip is listed. Example, a red slash white indicates a red wire with a white tracer. Now here is the simple schematic. Now this is a ignition switch. Okay. Now these are the 2 points. Okay. So if you want to start this, so this point will move over this. Now as it goes over here, here also you can see this one is the, we can say, a dotted box. So in the previous session, I have told you the symbol of this dash box is nothing but it is the components of a particular systems in that space. Now if when this is connected to particular wiring, here we have to use one connector. the male type of connector is attached to this box while the female connector is connected to the wires. Now here you can see this one is the 0.5 metric size of wire with the yellow color. C2 represents the type of a connector. Okay. B represents the, you can say, the particular location. Okay. Terminal and location for the connectors. B3 is the next terminal and C202 is the next connector. Here also there is one connector with male-female connections. Also, you can see different types of connectors which are attached in this line. Now here, the 0.5 mm wire represents a 20 gauge AW gauge wire. Okay. Now here, as we have seen the description of the previous figure, here it is listed. Terminals, the metal part which is attached to the end of the wire is called as a terminal. The symbol for the terminal which is shown in this figure, see this one is the figure. Okay. Now here we can see these are the terminals. B represents the terminal. Now, wire connections, when two wires are electrically connected, the junction is shown with a black dot. Now, see here, when two wires are connected, now this junction is indicated by this black dot. Okay, and we also call it as a splice type of a connection. When two wires cross in a schematic that are not electrically connected, one of the wires is shown as going over the other wire and does not connect. So here, these are the two wires. These two wires are not connected. So therefore, this symbol is used for the sake of representation. Now, next important part is the connector. An electrical connector is a plastic part that contains one or more terminals. While the terminals provide the electrical connection in the circuit, it is plastic connector that keeps the terminal together mechanically. Since I have told you earlier, these terminals which are used for the connection must be kept rigidly and there should not be a loose connection. If the vibrations or the bouncing of the vehicle may cause this connection to get open, which might cause the circuit to not operate in a proper way. That is why we are using the connectors which hold these terminals tightly at their respective positions. Now in this case, as we know, we are using the capital C as a label for the connectors with the three numbers which indicates the location of the connector in our automobile. Now this location is a particular area of the vehicle. Now this even number of connectors are on the right side of the passenger car and odd number connectors are on the left side of the car. So this type of connectors numbering can help a technician to identify at which location this connector is present. So if a connector is having the number between 100 and 199, so this connector is placed under the hood of the car. If the numbering of the connector is from 200 to 299, it is under the dashboard. From 300 to 399, it is in the passenger compartment. From 400 to 499, it is the rear package or the trunk area. From 500 to 599, it is on the left front door. 600 to 699 on the right front door. 700 to 799 on the left rear door, and 800 to 899 on the right rear door. So this diagram here, it indicates the series. Under the hood, it starts from 100. Under the dash starts from 200. And inside this passenger compartment, from 300, and in the trunk it starts from 400. Okay. Now, if a connector is C102, it is a connector which is located under the hood, because 102 stands between 100 and 199. And since it is an even number, it is on the right side of the vehicle. Okay. Coming on to the next important part. Okay. Now, the representation of a grounds and splices. Now, the grounds and splices are labeled within the same general formats of that of a connector. The ground is located under the dash of the driver's side, that can be labeled as G201. Here G indicates that it is a ground side. The splice here, that is, yes, it is followed by the 3 number. Okay. Now here we can see this is a particular diagram. Okay, these are the battery which is connected. Okay, now this negative terminal is connected for a battery using this symbol. Okay, and that this is also a dark symbol. So it indicates that this is a splice over here, and here G305 indicates that is this is a ground with number 305. So this will come under the we can say in the passenger compartment. Since it is an odd number, it can be on the left hand side of the car. Okay, so I hope you have understood the importance of the wiring schematics. These are the general rules or the guidelines for reading these wiring schematics of a diagram. With help of this guideline, you can read any diagram schematics of any car using the manufacturer's catalog. So this was the important sessions for us in case of electrical wiring systems. I hope you have understood this session. Any doubt regarding this, feel free to contact me or drop me a mail. Thank you.